Hello, today I'm with Charla Gonzales. You don't know who Charla Gonzales is? You are missing out. Today I'm talking about belief. We were sharing about belief. I was reading and listening to Darren Hardy, and Darren, he was talking about belief. Believing in something doesn't mean it's true or wrong or right, or doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means that you believe in something, and that is okay. However, he's pointing the point that I believe now on that point. If you have a belief, make sure the belief is making you a benefit. You're having a benefit for believing on that, even though you're probably wrong. And now we're just talking about that. We're having the lunch about that today. You believe on Jesus, right? And what do you think about belief in that point of view? Hmm?
Well, everybody believes in something is very true. You can have negative beliefs, positive beliefs, beliefs that bring you joy, and beliefs in fear of, like, the elevator today. I don't like to get it in the elevator. It's just something in my mind. Does it mean it's really going to be harmful to me? No.
Yeah.
But the whole point of the beliefs is, yes, I believe in Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, that He has prospered me and brought me through all the days of my life. But the belief in self, belief in positive things, like you said, encouraging each other and getting rid of the beliefs that bring you down, bringing negativity, you can do that. You have a right, because you have control over your mind. Our mind is very powerful. So making sure that you have the right beliefs to move forward, that bring you joy, that bring you happiness, that bring you people around you honor, and that you're honoring other people with the beliefs, that you're not jeopardizing relationships. And we've talked about that too. Some people just are hard to deal with. So
yes,
knowing how to deal with that as well is very important, especially in our business.
Yes, and the other thing about belief, by the way, I believe in Jesus too. I got my cross back. I don't know, I haven't used it in years, and I just decided to use it back, and I love it. But by the way, Charla Gonzales Remax, if you don't know her, she's a team leader, she's a top producer, and she just got a new listing today in the market. She has probably 10 plus listings right now happening. And the other thing about the question we have for Charla that probably some people are asking, because everybody's talking about this. Talking about belief. This is a new belief now, how the real estate business is going to be moving and changing. Yeah. People used to believe that just because you're a buyer's agent, you're entitled to get paid. Now it's different, okay? Mm-hmm. And what do you think about that? The broker buyer's compensation agreement. What do you think about what's your comment about buyer's compensation agreement?
Well, we also had that conversation earlier. There's some agents that I've worked with as buyer's agents that should have never gotten paid because they didn't show up. But there are many buyer's agents that I work with that are wonderful, that make the transaction easier. They're showing up for the appraisals, the inspections, learning how to navigate with their buyers. But we do need to make sure, and we should have done this years ago, to be honest with you. It is going to make things change. And for the agents that are concerned and worried and think that they're not going to have a job anymore, I think they should have already left the industry, because it is not an easy industry, and it's always going to be changing. We've been in long enough to see through the highs and the lows, the REO market, the short sales. So the fact that we're having another big shift in our industry is not surprising. I don't think it's right. I don't think it makes sense. It's just going to make it a little more difficult for us for a little while until we get all the little squeaky, wheel back up and running. But buyer's agents need to make sure that there is a commission on there. It's happened, not to me, but to people I know, where there's been a $1 or commission, and then they end up writing the offer and they're closing escrow, and then realize they're not getting a commission because they didn't pay attention. Getting a buyer's broker agreement is something that we've recommended for many years. But now it's many years
recommended.
Yeah, but it's something that you're going to need to do. You need to show your value. It's like an employment. You go to an employer and they employ you, and you get an agreement with them. That's the same thing that you're going to need to do with your buyer's agent. And to make sure that you're able to prove your value, you might even recommend or have them interview more than one buyer's agent to prove your value, to make sure that they know that they're getting a good agent. We already do that, like you said, as listing agents all the time.
Yeah, you have to compete when you're gonna get a listing, right? It's not like you're entitled, this is Charla, get the listing. You go there and probably they're gonna see another 3-5 listing agents. Mm-hmm. And then somebody's gonna get it, right?
Right.
Probably that's the same thing is gonna happen with buyer's agent. You need to go and compete and do your presentation and get the buyer and get the contract signed. And for me, My belief is, I think it's totally BS, total BS, that lawsuit. I don't think that should have happened. I don't know, whatever, but we have no control on it. Mm-hmm. We control whatever we can control, and what we can control is doing as an agent the broker or buyer's compensation agreement, and at the same time, doesn't mean it's gone. Are you still gonna get some commissions paid to buyer's agent, or you're gonna do your business just as a listing agent and not paying any commissions on the transaction or negotiating for them?
Well, we're gonna have to present commissions differently. I already do present the commissions that I'm sharing my commission when I go into a listing presentation. Well, now because of the situation, it's gonna be presented completely differently. So the thing about that, yes, absolutely. I think it's what's going to happen is that buyer's agents are going to need to have the commission in play when they go ahead and write the offer or the purchase price over the original purchase price to accommodate for their commissions. And with as a listing agent and agreement, of course, you always need agreement between the seller that they are willing to raise their purchase price to cover the buyer's commission. It's the same that we're already doing. It's just going to make it more work and a little more difficult.
Just more disclosing, more form, but this is real estate. Remember, real estate, everything is negotiable, just in case you didn't know. So maybe you can get paid more. Maybe you don't need to get paid 1% or 2%. Maybe you need to get 3%. Who knows? But yes, everything on writing, Charla. Anyway, my other advice is always check the MLS if they are paying commission to the buyer. If there is zero commission to the buyer, then you ask for it, and make sure you ask that before going to show houses with your buyer. Disclose to the buyer how much is your expectation as a buyer agent to get paid, put it on writing, and explain to the buyer. You showing that to the buyer doesn't mean the buyer has to pay it from their pocket, because probably the seller is going to pay for that. And even though the seller is not paying for that, maybe you can negotiate with the listing agent to add it to the purchase price, and that way the buyer doesn't have to bring it, and nobody is going to be like doing the job for free, even though we love to help people to get houses, right?
Yeah. And if we want to get down to it, we work for free a lot.
Yeah, we do a lot of free work a lot of time. And anyway, last but not least, spring break. The kids are off. I have the kids off for 2 weeks. Do you have any recommendations? What's the plan for spring break? Easter. You have an Easter event coming in, Charlotte? Yes. What's happening?
This Saturday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Saturday, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
On the boulevard, we're going to have line dancing for the families. We're going to have the Easter Bunny, and we're going to give away a little gift. And, of course, the spirit of Easter resurrection Bunny. And Easter.
Jesus is the reason. And it's going to be a buckle and boots? What is
Buckle and boots.
That one. That's going to be right there. All right, guys. I love you. Peace out. Bye-bye.